The rise of the Tortilla Flats drug empire. Tragic tales of Chucky and Midget from humble beginnings to organized crime in Oklahoma. The Compton Varrio Tortilla Flats, CVTF, also known as Southside Compton Varrio Tortilla Flats 13, CVTF 13, is one of Compton's oldest and most influential Mexican-American street gangs. Founded in the early 1960s, CVTF started as a small neighborhood group but grew into a dominant force in the city's complex gang scene. Over time, this once tight-knit crew transformed into a well-organized criminal powerhouse, extending its reach far beyond Compton's borders and aligning itself with larger criminal entities like the Serranos 13 and the Mexican Mafia. Today, CVTF's reputation commands both fear and respect at local and national levels. From community roots to criminal dominance, CVTF's origins are rooted in a modest beginning in Compton, where loyalty and camaraderie shaped the gang's early identity. Inspired by John Steinbeck's 1935 novel Tortilla Flat, the gang adopted its name to reflect the unity of its members, much like the characters in the book who banded together for survival. The gang's formation began at the Mendoza Mexican Tortilleria on Willowbrook Avenue, where the Mendoza brothers and their friends, including schoolmate Ronnie Gutierrez, would gather. What started as a group of young men hanging out turned into something much larger, a gang driven by pride and a desire for belonging, territory, influence, and criminal expansion. By the 1970s, CVTF had expanded its territory, firmly establishing itself on Compton's east side, with borders stretching from Rosecrans Avenue to Compton Boulevard and marked by Willowbrook Avenue and Alameda Street. Their influence grew rapidly, making CVTF a major player in the city's gang culture. What truly elevated CVTF was its early alliance with the Serranos 13 and the Mexican Mafia, La Maya. These affiliations gave CVTF not only a sense of belonging to a larger criminal network but also protection and strategic support. This partnership enabled the gang to engage in more sophisticated criminal enterprises, including drug trafficking and extortion, extending their operations well beyond Compton. A legacy built on loyalty and influence. The name Tortilla Flats represents more than just a reference to Steinbeck's novel. It symbolizes the gang's strong ties to their community and to each other. The loyalty shared among members became the foundation of CVTF's success and resilience. This unbreakable bond allowed the gang to thrive and dominate in Southern California's gang network. Their deep connections with the Flats family gangs, a coalition loyal to the Mexican Mafia, further cemented CVTF's legacy. These alliances fortified the gang's status as a force to be reckoned with, both in the streets of Compton and in the larger criminal landscape. What began as youthful mischief, like launching rocks at passing trains, quickly escalated into something much more serious. The moment one of the Mendoza brothers scrawled Tortilla Flats on a wall near the Tortilleria, CVTF was born, a name that would soon become synonymous with power, crime, and survival. CVTF's story is one of transformation from humble beginnings to a formidable gang with deep ties to organized crime. Today, they remain a testament to the power of loyalty, brotherhood, and the ever-evolving nature of gang culture in Compton and beyond. Turf wars and rivalries. For decades, Compton Varrio Tortilla Flats, CVTF, has faced fierce opposition from rival gangs, most notably the Elm Street Purists, a blood-affiliated group sharing the same streets of Compton. This violent rivalry has shaped much of CVTF's history, with both gangs engaged in an ongoing battle for control over territories that often come down to the division of streets. Some blocks are split down the middle, with each gang fiercely defending its claim to power. Through years of violent confrontations, CVTF has shown remarkable resilience. Their ability to hold their ground against relentless pressure from both rivals and law enforcement is a testament to the gang's internal strength. The unwavering loyalty and unity of its members have been the key to their survival and continued dominance in a highly competitive landscape. A legacy of strength and survival. For over 40 years, Compton Varrio Tortilla Flats has been a force in Compton's gang scene, What began as a group of friends outside a local tortilleria evolved into a formidable criminal organization. CVTF's growth is a reflection of the deeper complexities of urban gang culture, and their influence has extended far beyond their local community. Despite ongoing law enforcement efforts to dismantle them, CVTF has proven adaptable, evolving with the times while maintaining its core values of loyalty and territorial control. Their affiliation with Sureños 13 and the Mexican Mafia, La MA, solidified their position in the world of organized crime. At the same time, their bitter rivalry with the Elm Street Purists has kept them entrenched in Compton's gang warfare, proving their strength and tenacity over the years. Compton's violent landscape. By the 1960s, Compton had already become a battleground for various African American and Hispanic gangs, such as the Compton Farmers, Swamp Boys, Slauson Village, and the Businessmen. Amid these racial and territorial struggles, CVTF emerged as a key player, engaging in fierce turf wars with Hispanic rivals such as Compton Varrio Trace, Florence 13, and Compton Varrio Locos 13. As CVTF's presence grew, so did their involvement in Compton's broader gang conflicts. The gang's reputation for violence became infamous as they clashed with other Hispanic gangs, including Compton Varrio Largo 36, Willowbrook Winos, Compton Varrio 70s, Compton Varrio 155, Compton Varrio Alondra 13, and Compton Varrio Segundo. At the same time, racial tensions intensified as CVTF faced long-standing rivalries with African American street gangs like the Elm Street Piru, Treetop Piru, and Fruittown Piru. These conflicts often escalated into violent confrontations, particularly during the 2000s, as racial divisions fueled the battles between Hispanic and African American gangs. Power in alliances. The Mexican Mafia and Sureños 13. As CVTF solidified its influence in Compton, the gang formed key alliances with the Sureños 13 and the Mexican Mafia, La MA. These partnerships provided them with a powerful support system that extended across Southern California, offering protection both in prison and on the streets. This connection to the larger criminal network gave CVTF the organizational strength it needed to survive and thrive. Within CVTF, influential cliques such as MDKS and Los Midget Dukes emerged, further strengthening the gang's internal structure and expanding its reach into various illicit activities. These cliques played a crucial role in enforcing territorial control, ensuring CVTF's presence and power in the region. The rise of Compton Varrio Tortilla Flats from a neighborhood group to one of Southern California's most feared and influential gangs is a story of resilience, loyalty, and adaptability. Their deep cultural roots, combined with strategic alliances with the Mexican Mafia, have ensured their survival and cemented their legacy in Compton and beyond. Today, CVTF stands as a powerful symbol of the complexities of gang life, embodying the realities of urban survival, organized crime, and the ongoing battle for control in one of America's toughest cities. From neighborhood misfits to a notorious criminal organization, what began as a close-knit group of friends gradually evolved into a violent street gang, driven by the growing influence of key figures like Ronnie Gutierrez, who dropped out of school and assumed a leadership role within the gang. By the 1970s, original members, including the Mendozas, had shifted from simply hanging out to actively running the streets. As crime escalated, the gang's reputation for violence spread, mirroring broader trends of gang culture in Los Angeles County. The tragic stories of Chucky and Midget. For over 50 years, the Compton Varrio Tortilla Flats, CVTF, gang left an indelible mark on the streets of East Compton, California. Founded in 1962 by a group of teenagers outside a local tortilleria, the gang grew from a small neighborhood clique into one of Compton's most feared criminal organizations. Known for brutal rivalries with the Mexican Mafia and bounty hunter Bloods, CVTF spread violence and destruction across the area, impacting many lives. Two individuals deeply entangled in this violent world were Danny Midget Verduzco and Angel Lil Chucky Jose Scenes, whose fates became tragically intertwined with the gang's rise to infamy. Early lives stolen by the streets. Midget and Chucky's path into gang life. Midget and Chucky's stories highlight the heartbreaking cycle of violence that traps many young recruits. Chucky was only 10 when he was drawn into the gang, with Midget following at age 12. Both endured troubled childhoods filled with neglect and violence. Chucky, abandoned by his father and abused by a neighbor, sought refuge in the gang. Midget, whose older brother Ricardo Woody Verduzco also joined CVTF, had already survived several shootings by rival gangs, fueling his desire for revenge and deeper involvement in gang activities. Despite their mother's efforts to save them from the gang's grip, Midget and Chucky found in the Tortilla Flats a twisted sense of family and purpose. As their bond grew, so did their commitment to the gang, sealing their fates in a violent world where loyalty often meant life or death. A cycle of retaliation and bloodshed. Midget and Chucky's lives soon became defined by the endless cycle of gang violence. After a short stint in juvenile detention, Midget returned to the streets, more hardened and determined than ever. His violent path escalated, culminating in a stabbing at a graduation party that set off a deadly chain of events. A pivotal moment in this escalating violence came with the death of Imelda de la Cruz, Woody's ex-girlfriend, during a chaotic shootout at a party. Her murder led to a series of retaliations, including the killing of Johnny Rios, a childhood friend and fellow gang member. Midget and Woody, convinced that Rios was responsible for Imelda's death, brutally betrayed him. Woody opened fire on Rios, while Midget delivered the fatal shots. This act of treachery marked a turning point for the Verduzco brothers, who were eventually arrested and sentenced to life in prison without parole. Midget's violent reputation was cemented when he slashed his lawyer's face during sentencing, a final act of defiance. The Tortilla Flats drug empire and the Oklahoma connection. Between 2002 and 2003, CVTF expanded its influence beyond California, establishing a drug trafficking network in Oklahoma City. Partnering with local gangs, they built a multi-state operation, smuggling millions of dollars worth of methamphetamine and cocaine from California to Oklahoma. Over 42 pounds of meth and 5.5 kilograms of cocaine were trafficked, and the gang laundered over $244,000 through wire transfers across multiple states. The violent tactics they used to maintain control over their territory spread fear across Oklahoma City, with U.S. Attorney John C. Richter noting that CVTF brought more than drugs. It brought the ruthless gang culture of California. The violent enforcers, Midget, Woody, and Lil Boxer. High-ranking members like Adrian Macias Castro, Vago, Rafael Crook Gamboa, and Dennis Lil Boxer Gonzalez enforced the gang's control with brutal force. Gonzalez, notorious for organizing violent hits, was instrumental in the attempted murder of an LAPD officer in retaliation for a fellow gang member's death. Midget and Woody, as seasoned members, played key roles in mentoring younger recruits like Chucky, guiding them into a life of crime and violence. Chucky's tragic death and betrayal. Chucky's life, like many others caught in the gang's orbit, was cut tragically short. At just 19, he was killed in a suspected gang hit while attempting to collect drug money in Oklahoma City. Dennis Lil Boxer Gonzalez was suspected of orchestrating the hit, which left Chucky's family devastated. His death raised suspicions within the gang, with rumors of betrayal by his own homeboys, including Rafael Gamboa and another member known as Clumsy. Rafael Gamboa's redemption and the collapse of the Tortilla Flats. Rafael Crook Gamboa, racked with guilt over Chucky's death, made the rare decision to cooperate with law enforcement, testifying against CVTF and the Mexican Mafia. His testimony played a pivotal role in dismantling the gang's drug empire, leading to the convictions of 16 defendants. However, his decision came at a personal cost. Gamboa became a marked man in prison, facing violent attacks from fellow inmates after being placed with gang members he had testified against. Despite the challenges, Gamboa's cooperation represented a moment of redemption in the gang's violent history. His actions helped bring down a dangerous criminal enterprise, but the emotional and physical toll was immense. The fall of the Tortilla Flats. Federal, state, and local law enforcement worked tirelessly to dismantle CVTF's operations. Agencies like the DEA, IRS, and ATF exposed the gang's network of wire transfers, drug shipments, and violent enforcement tactics. Oklahoma City Police Chief William Satie highlighted the significance of their efforts. These gang members and their associates bred violence, crime, and fear in Oklahoma City. The downfall of CVTF marked the end of a criminal empire, but the legacy of violence left in its wake remains. Families were shattered, communities scarred, and young lives, like Chucky's, were lost to the streets forever. The Compton Varrio Tortilla Flats, CVTF, exemplifies the destructive power of gangs and their far-reaching consequences. What began in the early 1960s as a close-knit group of friends devolved into a violent gang, claiming the lives of individuals like Chucky, Midget, and Woody. Their stories illustrate the harsh reality faced by many young men in gang-ridden communities, where the desire for belonging often leads to tragic outcomes. Rafael Gamboa's attempt at redemption by betraying the gang he once loved highlights the struggle for change amid violence and betrayal. This narrative underscores the urgent need for intervention to prevent further loss of life. As CVTF evolved from mischievous kids to violent psychopathic thugs, the gang began to prey on its own, reflecting societal pressures and the erosion of community responsibility. Their rise under the Serenos 13 umbrella serves as a cautionary tale about how socio-economic challenges can transform a group of friends into a violent force. Today, CVTF's activities have become more sophisticated, engaging in interstate drug trafficking while influencing local culture through music and graffiti. Despite increased law enforcement efforts, CVTF remains a significant force in Compton, reminding us of the urgent need for better opportunities for at-risk youth. Ultimately, the legacy of the Compton Varrio Tortilla Flats calls for action. We must foster environments that allow young people to thrive, breaking the cycle of violence before it's too late.